I was so sure we had her.
Yeah, well, one clue does not a conviction make. Besides, it wasn't even a good clue.
I think it was a great idea about the plaque.
Yeah, well, the trouble is that Ginny's plaque doesn't even have a bullet mark on it.
No, it's hanging right up there on the news set for everyone to see, as if she didn't have a thing to hide.
Wonder if Frisco's does.
What?
Well, no one seems to know what he did with his.
Must be in his apartment.
Too bad if it is. He's in Mexico with Felicia, and Tony and Tanya are on their honeymoon.
What about Josh?
Forgot all about him.
Oh, why don't you give him a call, see if he can shed some light on this case?
Yeah. Hope someone can. This assignment has started to become rather weird.
Ah, but it wouldn't be half as interesting without all those twists and turns, now would it?
Yeah. Wonder what Donnelly's doing, you know? This is the kind of case that he and I used to love to get out.
It's about what?
The Brock murder.
Me?
Yes.
Well, what would make you think I knew anything about that?
You might.
I don't. I don't know anything. I hardly know the guy.
Well, it's about the events before his death at the studio. You reckon you can come down here this morning? I'd like to have a talk to you.
I guess so, if I have to.
Well, nobody's forcing you to, but I'd appreciate it.
Yeah, okay, I'm on my way.
Odd.
What?
Well, he acted rather nervous about coming down here.
Oh, you can't exactly blame him.
Why?
The commissioner of police calls him up, says he wants to question him about a murder. The poor thing must be scared out of his wits.
Well, why if he didn't do anything?
Wow. I mean, you can be very intimidating, you know.
Moi?
Yes, you put on that official police commissioner's voice of yours and act as if everybody's guilty of something, and they get so scared that they think they probably are, even if they're not.
Well, you make me sound like an ogre.
That's just one side of you, sweetheart.
Huh? Yeah, well, doesn't sound like a very pleasant side.
Well, we all have unpleasant facets to our personalities, you know.
Yeah, and one of your unpleasant facets is telling people about their unpleasant facets.
Do still love you, though.
Well, that's a weight off my mind.
So is Josh going to come over?
Yeah, said he'd be right down.
Well, that's good. We can maybe find out what happened to Frisco's plaque.
That's if it is Frisco's plaque.
Oh, good point. What happened to lunch?
Another good point. Has our lunch come in yet, love?
Just now.
Can you send it in?
Right away?
Thank you.
Right back.
Shame we couldn't have gone out for lunch.
Yeah, well, my car's in the shop, and it's too cold to walk. Wait a minute.
What?
That's it.
What?
Bert, listen. Get me the names of all of the people that worked for the valet parkers the night of the party. Right. Yeah, thanks.
Are you going to have them come in?
Yep, if anybody knows, or anyone knows who left the place that night, they would.
You mean if Ginny left?
I mean anyone. Now, just take your time.
You're doing just fine.
I still don't think I know anything, Commissioner.
Well, you never know. All right, then. Now, you say that Derek wanted Ginny and Frisco's plaques.
Yeah, he was making a big fuss about having them engraved.
Mm-hmm. And this was a few days after the party.
Right.
Well, did Ginny give him her plaque?
I'm not sure. I think so.
Well, can you think harder?
I'm not sure. Probably.
Did you see him give him a plaque?
No.
Well, what about Frisco's plaque?
What about it?
Well, did he give it to Derek for engraving?
You know, I do remember him hounding him for it, and then Frisco asked me to go to his dressing room to pick it up.
Did you?
Yeah, but I couldn't find it anywhere.
Don't say.
Yeah, and then he accuses me of not looking hard enough. So he did it himself.
Did he?
Yeah, I think.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
Was the dressing room door locked?
No, they always leave the studio unlocked.
Isn't that rather unsafe?
Well, maybe, but nothing's ever been stolen before.
But you say you couldn't find Frisco's plaque in his dressing room.
Yeah, that's right.
Didn't that make you suspicious?
No, I just figured he probably forgot where he put it.
Is that like Frisco?
Yeah, he's, pretty absent-minded.
Have you seen him with the plaque since Derek Osford?
No, but, then again, the plaque doesn't interest me as much as it seems to interest you. Can I ask why?
Sorry.
Ginny did it.
Stop jumping to conclusions.
But everything points to it.
Holly, you can't convict someone of a crime on the basis of everything points to it. We've got to have evidence, proof.
You've got it.
We've got a whole lot of loose ends.
Are you trying to tell me that you don't want me to help you anymore?
No, why do you say that?
Well, you seem to be discouraging me.
I'm not discouraging you at all.
Good, because I want to stay with this case to the end, which I think is very close.
You're doing it again.
What?
Jumping.
Yes, but it seems so obvious.
Evidence, Holly. Evidence. Now, look, you're not going to be of any use to me on this case unless you can be objective.
I have been.
You haven't.
Oh, how can you say that?
Look, anything that looks like getting Bobby off the hook, you assume to be the fact that she didn't do it.
She didn't.
You're losing your objectivity.
Now, come on, you haven't wanted her to be guilty either.
Right.
Well, then stop yelling at me for doing something you've been doing.
I'm not yelling.
Well, all right, then, scolding.
Well, maybe I'm a little concerned at my own lack of objectivity in this case.
Oh, I understand. So you're taking it out on me.
I mean, the last thing I want is to be responsible for sending my best friend's sister to jail for murder.
Well, then we're just going to have to solve this bloody case and find the murderer. The real one.
Okay.
Right. First thing, we have to make a list.
What of?
Of all the things that we've got against Ginny so far. And we'll be objective, okay? Right, first thing.
Right. Put down motive, important.
Right. Motive.
Right.
Why would Ginny want to kill Brock? Well, that one's easy. Because he had a rap sheet against her. He was blackmailing her over the Hal Geller situation.
Possibly.
Obviously.
Holly.
All right. We don't have any real proof, but we have a possible motive.
Good enough.
Okay. So we have the motive. Could she have done it?
Well, there are plenty of people at the party who will swear to the fact that she was there at the time of Brock's murder.
Could they swear to her whereabouts the entire time?
Good question. I've got another one for you. Now, let's say that she was planning on leaving the party to go and kill Brock.
Well, she did leave. I mean, her car was moved. The valet said.
But did she move it?
Can we just pretend for now that she did leave the party, that she moved her car, that she went over to Brock's penthouse? We'll just pretend that for a minute, okay?
Okay. All right. Now, did you see her after she received the plaque?
Not until she got back and was putting up her coat up.
But when did you see her do that?
Well, let's see. It was just towards the end of when they were playing the clips of her interview, so that's, a good 45 minutes after she received the plaque.
All right. Was that enough time to leave the party, get to Brock's, kill him, and then get back to the party?
5 minutes to get to her car.
10 minutes to get to the penthouse.
10 minutes to get back.
It's 20 minutes unaccounted for.
We've got her.
You're doing it again.
Oh, come on. You're just as excited about this as I am. Admit it.
Well, I'm trying to be objective.
She had the motive. She had the time to do it. She did it. Admit it.
All right. All right. You might be right. Maybe a goose is cooked. Old WSV mate of mine used to say that. That is.
So, Ginny did it. Oh, look at poor Bobby and Terry. And if Ginny did do it, poor Rick. It's just so awful when all bad things seem to happen to nice people, you know? I mean, poor Rick, he's had such a fair share of heartache the last few years. It's not fair.
Yeah. Yeah. And first he thinks Laura's dead, and then a year later he loses his wife in that accident.
But you know what? He's never been bitter about it. I haven't heard him say a bitter word.
I don't know whether I would have acted that well under the same circumstances.
Oh, I think you would have. Look how wonderful you were
Well,
when I was going through all that with Luke.
yeah, I don't think I acted all that well.
Oh, you did. You were wonderful. You were marvelous.
Think so?
Yes, you thought about me and how I was feeling.
Well, I wanted to make sure you were happy.
It takes a lot of strength to do that.
Yeah. Well, I hope Rick has a lot of strength to deal with this.
You know, it would have been really nice if his marriage had worked out. His marriage to Ginny.
I suppose.
He certainly deserves a bit of happiness, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's a nice guy, good doctor. Deserves the best for himself.
So what do we do now?
We nail her. What else?
Right.
Mr. Sam Brenner to see you, sir.
Who?
He says he's the janitor at D.L. Brock's office building.
Send him in.
I'm sorry to bother you, Commissioner.
Not at all. What can we do for you?
It's about that Brock murder. Well, you know, I didn't know the guy real well, but still in all, he was a tenant, and I am a good citizen, so I thought maybe it was my duty to tell you.
Tell me what, Mr. Brunner?
I was cleaning in the hall today. All of a sudden, I hear her yelling bloody murder from Mr. Brock's old office.
Who?
The wife.
Bobby Brock?
Right. She's standing there, holding a letter opener and looking down at these newspaper articles on the desk.
What articles?
Well, of him, Mr. Brock. She'd slashed them to pieces.
What?
Yeah, and she's saying, I did it, I did it. Anyway, I knew her aunt worked at Kelly's, so I called down there. She came, took her back there.
I see.
Well, I just thought maybe you ought to know.
Yeah, look, I want to thank you very much for coming in, Mr. Brunner.
Oh, one other thing.
Yes?
I heard the wife say to Brock she could kill him.
Why was this?
It was during one of their arguments. They're always arguing.
Thank you.
Do you want me to make a statement?
Just leave your number with my secretary. I'll be in touch.
Oh, boy, just when we thought we had something to help Bobby, wait till the DA gets wind of this.
Well, it's still not too late. We just have to work harder and faster to find the real killer.
You mean prove the real killer?